All right, Emily, thank you so much for joining today, and welcome everyone out there on the live interwebs. We are here with Purple Acorn. My name is Jada, taking over this segment for my podcast From the Desk with Jada Montemorano, and Emily is joining us right now. So give the lovely people out there a little intro.
Yes, my name is Emily Walsh, and I apologize for losing my voice. I am a nurse by trade, but I now work in nurse recruitment at a hospital in Lubbock, Texas, which is West Texas area. Not many people know where that is.
Funny enough, I do. I know someone who worked in local news there.
Okay.
News is a small industry, so she worked in Lubbock. Yeah.
So I've been in that role for about 5 years. So
amazing. So what brought you here today? You said it's your first time at RecFest.
Yeah.
So what brought you out today now that you're in this new role?
Yeah, I'm always looking for ways to improve my practice. Like sometimes I feel stagnant in my role, so it's like I try to go and find something to kind of just boost. There's always so much to learn, and I'm always in like that healthcare space, and so I was really excited to do something that's more just like broad and not just healthcare.
So not to take you off guard, but is there anything today so far that you've learned, or anything that you've seen, anyone you've spoken to that's kind of inspired you, that's what you were looking for?
Yeah, obviously there's a lot of AI sessions. We don't really use AI in my job, and so there's just it's all so new to me. I know it's so prominent right now, and so it's all just any of that is very
every
helpful.
booth is AI now, all this new technology. And it's something I talk a lot about on my show because I'm someone who doesn't come from this world. I come from a news background, and just the influx of AI in this space is so new, and everybody keeps telling me, no, it's good, it's good.
I know.
We're using it. So for someone who doesn't use it much in their job, what have you kind of taken away from AI in the space compared to you guys not using it maybe?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just still trying to find that balance of like the human touch, and that from like a nursing perspective, that's so important to me. Like, and I think that's why I've had some reservations with AI, because like I still want that human touch just as a nurse. Like that's what I do.
Yeah, you're in the people business in both ways, working from the nurse perspective, but also in the recruiting perspective.
I also know that like what I do in my role, like I make it so much harder on myself because I want to do it myself. Whereas if I could use AI, like it would be 9-day difference. So just trying to get that buy-in from
a little bit more helpful.
Yeah,
so if you were to like something that you saw here today at RecFest, is that something you go to your boss and say, hey, this could be something that's helpful? Like, how does that work in your field?
Yeah, so I report to the chief nursing officer. So I would just go, we have meetings monthly, and so I would just go to her and take this, and she would listen to the pitch, and then we'd kind of go from there. So
is there anything that you learned today or while you've been here that is something that you may take back?
I think so. Different companies try to explore. We've had demo calls before, and like financially we haven't been in a place that we could do it, but I feel like we're kind of getting back to that place where financially we could. We had actually a cyber attack this time last year, and so, I mean, it was a huge ordeal, and so we were still recovering financially, and so we just like shut down everything. But now I feel like
trying to figure out the new next best way to use this technology to be safe, right?
Yes, and I focus on graduate nurses. Like that's my specialty in the recruiting world. And I had, applications open for a week, and we got over 300 for less than 50 positions. And so it's it's a great problem to have, but it's also like, I'm one person doing this. And so I think having the data as well, I can really kind of take back to her and say, this is...
Yeah, so speaking off of that, you are in such a niche field in the recruiting world, but just based off the example you said, what we're going on right now in the world, a lot of what I like to talk about on my show is to broaden it to just the general public, the layman who may be watching. So you're experiencing that in nursing, just the influx of applications and not that many jobs, right? And how has that been for you?
It's honestly, I take it personally. Like I have the fate of their future in my hands, and I overthink it a lot, and they all look the same on paper. And I send them a questionnaire because like I said, it's just me, and I don't have the bandwidth to call all 300 of them. So I do like a questionnaire to try to really get to know them through the questionnaire, but still it's hard. Like you can tell they use AI as well to answer the questions. And it's weird. Like they preach that there's this nursing shortage, but then in my hospital specifically, like we're at a weird, I don't really want to even speak into existence, but we're in like a weird spot of our vacancy's super low. And so it's like, we do get to be picky, and we do get to, which is a good problem to have. But at the same time, it's like, I know I'm breaking hearts of 250
And
people.
you said you've only been doing this for the past 5 years, so you're fairly new, and you've kind of been there in the post-pandemic new world that we're in. So have you just been experiencing this shortage, the supply-demand issue for the past few years, or was it a little bit better when you first started?
You know, I actually started in the middle of COVID.
When the demand was super high, right?
Yeah, I mean, we were bleeding nurses, like, you know, or they were all leaving to travel because that's where the money was.
Yeah.
Because that's, you know, and so now that's become more prominent, and that's what we see, like, our turnover is because of the travel, people leaving to go to travel nursing, because that's where.
So wild.
Yeah.
Such a niche industry that you're in, and I kind of want to bring it to that. So you were a nurse by trade. What brought you into the recruiting side?
I know.
What made you say, okay, I don't want to be a nurse anymore?
I know. I mean, that is not what I went to nursing school with. And honestly, it was a hard transition. Like, I had to make peace with it, that this is what's right for me and my family in this stage of life. And I was getting my master's. I have my master's in nursing education, and I always thought, like, I want to go be a professor. Like, I want to teach. But then this role came open, and I knew it focused on graduate nurses. So I was like, I can still be in the hospital, but also still work with the schools and the graduate nurses and the students. And so it kind of like put my two worlds together. And I was like, I'll just do it for a couple of years. And then 5 years later, I'm still here, and I have no plans of leaving.
Yeah, you must love it. And like I mentioned earlier, on my show, I usually like to kind of broaden it up to maybe people not in the industry, people job hunting right now and things like that. So for someone who was so new to it, never planned on going into recruiting, was there anything that shocked you, or any tidbits that you could tell our wonderful audience today about what it really is like to hire and to apply? Like, were there new things you learned that you never thought of before?
I mean, you don't realize, like, obviously I was on the flip side of it, like, interviewing and applying as a nurse. But, like, you don't realize, like, what all goes into it. Like, whenever you don't get a job, you're devastated. But then, like, seeing the other side of it, it's just, like, it's hard. It's competitive. Like, the job market sucks right now.
Like, we talk about that all the time on my show.
So, I mean, just kind of, like, really, and I think that also it helps that I have that nursing experience, because I can really relate to them. Like, if they end up not getting, like, they may want ICU, and we don't have enough positions for everybody to get ICU. And so, like, talking to them, like, look, I get it, this is your dream, but, like, go work here, get experience. So, like, I think they kind of take that more from me, because I've been there. Like, I get it. Like, so I think knowing that they're talking to somebody who's literally been through the exact process they're going through, in my mind, I like to think that it helps kind of ease some of the nerves and stress. So.
Yeah, you were saying that this is very personal, and now with all these AI technologies coming out, it feels a little bit less personal. I know you right now aren't using AI so much in your space, but just from what you've been hearing and talking to and learning, how do you think it's best to combine the people but also the use of that technology to make it a little bit easier? Like, where is that balance for you, do you think?
That's hard, because, like, in my mind, I'm like, I want to look at every single resume. Like, I don't want to rely on AI to say, no, they're not good, when they could just interpret it wrong. So, like, I'm always for change. Like, I will be the big proponent for change, but in this sense, like, I've had a lot of pushback, because I'm just like, it scares me. Like, I don't want somebody to be overlooked because one tiny word on their, you know what I mean? So it's just, I think that's a challenge I have to take back and find myself, is what is that balance? Because
And I think adding that personal aspect to a certain point works as well, because as you were saying, you were giving advice to people. You were telling people, okay, maybe look at this or apply here. And just for experience, I had someone in my life apply to a job. They didn't get it. They got an email back, and it was a personal email. And they were like, that just went a long way. Obviously, I didn't get the job, and that hurts. But just hearing from someone, and so if you're out there and you're a recruiter, sending a personal email to someone that you sit in front of an interview does go a long way. So bringing this big picture from your experience of doing it mostly personal, do you think that there is a way for recruiters that are using the technology to also be personal? Like, do we find that balance somehow?
I mean, we need to. Like, I've never been thanked before. Like, I never thought I would be thanked before for telling them they didn't get the job. They're just like, but thank you for letting me know. Like, they're like, our competitor hospital, like, they have like a third party recruiting firm that's based out of the Philippines, and it's all AI. And they're like, even though I didn't get the job, like, thank you for letting me know. I'm like, I never had somebody thank me. saying.
It's soul crushing.
It is.
You hear all the stories on the internet.
Yes.
Everybody's like, I'm sending thousands of applications out. I
Yeah.
can't do this anymore. It's
And
so hard.
I dread those phone calls because they're
Yeah.
like, what did I do? I was like, honestly, it's
Nothing.
not you.
Yeah.
And I hate it. Like, it's not you, it's us. Like,
I know.
you
It's
literally
the
did
breakup
nothing
term.
wrong. Yes. So it's hard. And, but yeah, I mean, like I said, I think that human touch, like, I will never be able to let go of that. And I know that a lot of that stems from me being a bedside nurse, but I try to translate that into practice and be as transparent and open communication as I can.
Well, I love that. I think everybody needs to be doing that. And usually on my podcast, From the Desk, I end the show with a broad question from someone who has been accepting applications now and doing interviews for this job market. What's one piece of advice you could share from what you've learned of how to stand out during this terrible application process, whether it's during the interview, just any tips you have that they could take away from today?
The biggest thing I tell people is just let your personality shine through. Like, we do not want to see a perfect Google rehearsed interview. Like, if you stumble on your words, if you have to repeat the question, if you need time to think about the question before interview, like, we want to see you're human, because I can't tell you how many times they come in, have a perfect interview, and then like become a nurse and we're like, this is not who we interviewed. Like, this is not who we want. So just be genuine, be transparent to an extent. Like, you don't want to overshare certain information, but I just think be genuine. Like, on the flip side, like, be human. Like, we understand you're human.
Especially in the world of AI, where people are using it for resumes and applications.
And
when you get to that person-on-person stage, be a person.
Yes, and I can't fault them. Like, I use AI to word emails appropriately. So, like, I get it. They want to look the best, but I can tell when it's strictly AI versus you put your personal touch. So just be genuine as well.
Well, I love that advice. Thank you so much, Emily. And thank you out there, everyone, for watching us. Purple Acorn live at RecFest. My name is Jada. We'll be back in a few minutes with some more interviews. Stick around.